History is merely a list of surprises. Kurt Vonnegut, a soft pop, a rising warmth, the scent of toast and butter in the air. That's the sound and smell of popcorn transforming from hard seeds into puffed-up, airy bites. But how did we end up with this snack in the first place? Every kind of corn we eat today comes from a wild grass called teosinte. About 9,000 years ago, indigenous people in what's now southern Mexico started selectively breeding it. At first, each cob only held 5 to 12 tiny kernels, and every one of them was sealed inside a tough outer shell called a pericarp. But some early types had a unique trait. When heated to just the right temperature, their kernels would explode. Here's how popcorn pops. Inside the kernel is a mix of starch and water. That mix is trapped tightly by the pericarp. As heat builds, the water becomes steam. Pressure starts to rise. At the same time, the starch softens and turns into a gel. Eventually, the shell bursts open. The steam and gel expand into foam, which quickly cools into a fluffy, white puff. That little explosion also releases the irresistible smell we associate with popcorn. Over time, indigenous farmers bred other maize varieties with bigger kernels and softer shells, but they also preserved the poppable kind. This variety spread throughout the Americas. By the time European colonizers arrived in the late 1400s, indigenous peoples were already using corn in many ways. Popcorn wasn't a daily staple, but it was mentioned in European accounts, especially in descriptions of Aztec feasts and celebrations where toasted or parched corn made an appearance. Eventually, colonizers began growing corn too, and before long, they started popping it. At first, their methods were inconsistent and awkward. That changed around 1837, with the invention of wire baskets used over fire. Suddenly, popping corn became easier and cleaner. Popcorn soon gained a reputation as a fun and affordable snack. Over the next few decades, it showed up at fairs, carnivals, and public events. Recipes exploded in number. People mixed popcorn with molasses, cheese, butter, and spices. But the popcorn boom was just beginning. At the 1893 World's Fair, a man rolled in with something new, a popcorn machine on wheels. It could mix seasonings and pop kernels at the same time. Soon, these machines appeared on city streets across the U.S. Yet movie theaters didn't welcome popcorn right away. Early cinema owners saw their theaters as elegant and refined. They didn't want crunchy snacks and buttery fingers anywhere near their velvet seats. That all changed during the Great Depression in 1929. People turned to movies for cheap entertainment. And since talkies had replaced silent films, even non-literate audiences could enjoy them. Popcorn, at just 5 or 10 cents a bag, became the perfect companion. Theater owners saw the potential. They embraced it. Popcorn became a goldmine. A medium bag today costs around 60 cents to make, but often sells for $6. That's a 1,000% markup. In fact, popcorn sales now account for about 40% of all theater profits. That helps theaters balance the high costs of showing Hollywood films. Popcorn didn't stop evolving. When microwave popcorn hit store shelves in the early 1980s, a whole new era of home snacking began. Today, dozens of popcorn strains are grown across the U.S. Some explode into round mushroom shapes. Others form jagged butterfly shapes. They've been carefully bred for maximum expansion. Over the past century, popcorn's puffing power has doubled. Kernels can now grow up to 50 times their original size. So from sacred ceremonies to sidewalk carts, from theaters to microwaves, popcorn has had quite the journey. And let's be honest, it's still popping off. For more videos, please like and subscribe.